Will it be Abigail Issa, the aspiring beam of light? To vote for Abigail Issa, SMS DBS01 to 17103. Or will it be Fino D, your black color Yamanyora and the Sax Prince? To vote for Fino D, SMS DBS02 to 17103. Or will it be Rita Christopher, the Afro-Goth ancestral goddess? To vote for Rita Christopher, SMS DBS03 to 17103. Or will it be DJ Sean Lee, aka the big man himself, Big Lee? To vote for DJ Sean Lee, SMS DBS04 to 17103. Or will it be Wada, the soul stress? To vote for Wada, SMS DBS05 to 17103. Listen to the songs, check out the music videos at the DBS Facebook page, Department of Broadcasting Services, #Remotsile.
So we've come to the end of our program right here on Botswana Connect. Thank you so much for sticking with BTV News as we continue to refine your worldview one story at a time every single day. Now, earlier on, we did have in studio the project manager of Boy-Child Matters, Ms. Thabile Pilane, where we're talking about, she shed more light on the importance of empowering men and promoting a positive masculinity. Now, that is a conversation that I will leave you with at this right this moment. Until next time, from myself, Lucia Ramasu, it's goodbye and stay safe.
First and foremost, I would just like to touch on that is that, you know, we grow up in a society where we are told that men don't cry, boys don't cry, men are not sensitive and stuff like that. And we are not necessarily saying we want to change that. We're just saying that in the positive masculinity, we want to, you know, be able to nurture how can I put this? The attributes that were they are very positive in a sense they can be a better members of society worldwide, let me say.
How does it contribute to us having now negative masculinity?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I remember actually when you touched on that, I had a conversation with Boy-Child Matters. Le batla gore change ene dio tse dingwe ga di a tshwana gore ke be di changeile mo lapeng monna ke ene tlhogalo lapa monna ke ene o reng ha re gane me at the end of the day ra re nya monna e tshwantse gore ana tota ibile from grassroots hela gone ha ngwana mosimana go la o tshwantse gore le ene a gone go bona gore ha gona difference ya ka le bokgaitsa di aka in terms of ke gone go bua le mama ka kganye ke gone go bua le papa ka kganye, especially because ya no ha ile gore papa le ene o teng mo lapeng ke ene ile gore kena aka mo gruma gore a gone go raise a man, because as women I cannot teach a boy how to be a man because I am not a man. But there are some things in Lena as a mother I contribute. I have a 5-year-old son. So his father can teach him other things, and now I can teach him others. So monga o nya rona tota ibele borre ka ha musin tota gore keng monna ga le monna ha wa tsoga enya e o bile ra idumalana yo me ke mo ileng gore ke re tshwantse re bona ngwa yona e le gore ga re fetole me ra improve in a sense.
Right, like for us ya no gore re tsene mo go tlhaloganyeng gore Boy-Child Matter organization ke eng e tebagantse le eng?
Okay, thank you for that. Boy-Child Matters initiative is an empowerment group e leng gore re formule ka 2016. when re bona gore gap ya you know, we always advocating for the girl child. Yes, perfect. There's perfectly nothing wrong with that. But now, as history is about to repeat itself, we are creating that gap. Yes, they already are set in their ways. But now, because I advocate for the young child from grassroots, that's all go itlhelela gore ko sekolong banyana ba gaisa basimane mo dithutong mme ko sportseng basimane ba gaisa yana e be re tsena mo kganyeng ya sports gore ha re tsena mo sportseng re advocatela bo mme gore nya bo mme tshwanetse gore 1 2 3 re kgona go excela le rona. But now why can we not do the same when it comes to certain things, behavior, emotional intelligence, mental health and stuff like that? So at Boy Child Matters, we are saying that we want to discuss and be able to help the Boy Child Matters, and we are saying to the public, the boy child matters.
Right. And right on that note, I'd like for us to go into talking about, you know, how exactly it is that we can be able to nurture emotional intelligence in the boy child, like you were saying, right from the grassroots, and maybe touch on, you know, talking about our grown men, how exactly it is that we can, you know, nurture, instill that and nurture it within them.
Within them. Yes, like I'm saying, it's similar hella from grassroots, because for us, go boy child, we're looking at kana wana hasita hola. I 5 years old, you know, that then that's when from birth hela, you must you know, not show that difference in terms of wana mosetsana no wena tota wena o leleng wa e wolla nya khaitsede go ena hala hala gati no sori ngwana ke sori my baby girl, you know, o tla reng tla re. So as parents, as members of society, as members of the community, as the world in large, we need to take a step further into ensuring that our boy kids ba itse le bona gore they matter, in a sense gore they can express their emotions and they can be able to be vulnerable, especially because gantse ba gola yana we're making them into, you know, the perfect brothers, the perfect husbands, the perfect father figures, the perfect CEOs, because because I've realized that in a lot of sense, like I mentioned, I have a 5-year-old, and they're very both inquisitive. The sister is 8 years old. Yeah, and okay, if I know. Okay, so how mentality no. Now I'm bound to be doing things differently because I'm a boy. That's when now we have to, you know, also get into gender uniqueness. We're teaching them that, you know what, being a boy is one of the best things in the world. And also growing up, you don't have to deal with women's stuff, but you know, that gender uniqueness, it helps to say that we're grooming these boys to be, you know, the perfect members of society, you know, to grow up and be the best possible people that they can be.
And you know, Tabile, most of the times we find that emotional intelligence scores, women tend to score higher than men. Can we attribute this to, you know, the upbringing and what else? Society,
culture, school, like teachings, in general, I think those are contributing factors to the fact that women in general, yes, but also rights, independent women, yes, we are taught that, you know what, as a woman you can stand on your own, and men are taught that as a man you are a provider, you are this, you are that, and even okay, fine, but in a sense and that's why we discussions me, I'm an independent woman, I don't need a man. But that is very false. We all need each other. Sir, you are able, Luena, express. That's why you find that one of our speakers actually who will touch very much on that. Men are unable to be able to express their feelings. They're the ones who are leading in the suicide rates. They're the ones who are leading with, you know, the murder cases, passion killings and stuff like that. So we're trying to curb that from the grassroots. We have trauma counselors who are going to be there. We have pathology, and then we have going into the law, we're going into, you know, HR, we're having, you know, grooming and all of that. So it's something say upbringing wise we need to really nip it in the bud before history starts repeating itself again.
Re buile thata jalo ka ngwana wa mosimane ke batla eno re bua ka borre gore ke eng se leng gore re ka se dira re le tshaba gone go ba rotloetsa le go ba itletsa gore gone mme ha le motho wa rre ga se molato e bile go siame thata gore o kgone gore ha ile gore o ketahaletswe ke maikutlo o imetswe o kgone gore o ntshetse ko ntle ga gore sepe go lela go siame le ha le motho wa rre.
I think what high because they already become their own person. They've already established, but yeah, there are some who are still having identity crises. But as a society, as women, I believe that we can strongly stand behind our men to say, you know what, you can talk to me. But at the end of the day, there are still some it aches me. But as a society, we need to know that we're contributing factors to the cancer. Express. So now we're saying we're saying is we'll do workshops and make sure that also we want to go into the implementation stages of helping these men to say it's okay to talk to a psychologist, it's okay to talk to a trauma counselor, because trust me, there's no one who can say anything to him that situation
identity crisis, you know, in mo go borre ba ileng gore ba setse ba godile ba setse ba ile gore ba established in themselves, right? Can we say that this identity crisis is caused by you know, the fact that mo Botswana malapa ka bontsi the single parent led, being you know, led by the mother?
Yes, definitely. I think mostly when it comes to identity crisis, you know, when you go into society, let's say from 5 you go into your tertiary, and then life begins there, and you start waking up to seeing Horekana, by the time the pressure becomes there, that okay, fine, if I don't do this by this certain age, I'm either going to be broken or they tend to put our men down. If you are a man by the age of 30, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at that time, you don't have it. Who am I and who am I going to be in the future? Because at this point, I'm too broke to date. I can't provide for myself. We are trying to say to them that it's okay to not have your life figured out by a certain age. Because in most cases, we can by the time I'm 35, but I can drop back so they do not have the luxury to do that. They need to stand up for themselves. And now we're saying to us as women, may we please stand behind our brothers, our fathers, our husbands, our boyfriends, everything, to say to them, look, it's okay to not have everything figured out by that time, and it's okay for you to be able to talk about these things. Let's talk about.
And gore bone ke se fe se abe sa bone se ileng gore bana le sone mo go boneng e be ile gore gona borre ba rona ba unsettled you know, emotionally, and they're under a lot of pressure. We find that most of the times our male counterparts are somewhat, you know, sometimes struggle a little bit with processing their own emotions and the emotions of the next person. And and then at the end of the day, we find cases such as GBV increasing and the likes. What commentary can you make on that?
I think from the sense of I've gotten a bit of education when it comes to how, that I personally as a woman, I'll say first and foremost, is that, like you're saying, and we're quick to jump to certain conclusions. As men, they take that time to process such things. And let's also take a step back. You know, heat of the moment things, those are the things that are driving everything to the core, that it was not supposed to get to that particular point. So I'd say I'd urge Ronabo Metota, let's work on ourselves. If it's therapy that we need, let us go for it. If it's let us talk. I've figured out, like, I've always been a person who'd like to bottle things up. But growing up, I realized, like, talking really helps, and it so now we need self-introspection to say we are the, we do contribute. And I'm not saying, I will tread very carefully and very lightly on that one. GBV on its own is a very concern, and contributing factors are plenty on that sense. But I'm saying self-introspection as women is very much needed in the sense, because we need to, go back in time, take steps backwards and say, re bankanya jang gore re kgone go tswella le rona re kgone go godisa bana ba basimane ba kgone go bona kagiso mo lapeng ba kgone go bona lerato ba kgone go le bone ha ba setse ba le banyenyana ba kgone gore ba bone gore bo kgaitsa di a bone gore go tsamayang hela in life in general. And I think in that sense, for them growing up, because now we're grooming the next generation, but also we're not saying gore borre ba setseng ba godile gwanana no, there's still plenty of time, my brothers. There's still plenty of time for you to be able to get help. Get help for ourselves so that we can help you through these journeys that you guys are going through. It's never too late. Absolutely not.
Right. The mindset change, agenda, which I believe that your project Boy Child Matters speaks directly to in so many ways. Can you get into talking or telling us more about that, how exactly it is that Boy Child Matters directly speaks to the mindset change agenda? Okay.
I'll also just a little bit of a background when it comes to Boy Child Matters. So our director, Linda Kilonelwe, she grew up with, 4 boys. The rose among the thorns. And she got a realization of the fact that, we are not being raised the same way here, and practically it's about the gender difference, and then it became a mindset to it. Okay, fine, no, this is how it's supposed to be, this is how going forward it's going to be. She has 2 daughters and a son, the last born. So when it came to that, I realized, no man, this is not it. This is not it. And her son, her husband, these are human beings who are also entitled to, be able to express these things that they're feeling. Because as human beings, we all go through the same emotions. We have anger, we have sadness, we have happiness, we have excitement, all of those type of things. So the mindset of it comes from now the fact, now as a human being, am I going to be treating this person differently just because of their gender? And that gender being that the fact that and at the sense, NAKO Boy Child, our main mandate is to say that we want to close this gap. We want to, involve everybody who can help us to be able to close the gap. No. There are plenty of organizations out there who are advocating for that. We give them kudos, and we're saying that let us come to, a 50-50 type of thing to say we're talking about this. Olympic, we have a 50%, a 50-50 participation, and we are very happy about that. So now, for Boy Child Matters, we are looking at ages 5 to 7, 8 to 11, 12 to 16, and the teenagers going upwards. We need to discuss this to say that now this is the time for us to have a mindset change. Boys are allowed to do certain things that girls can do. It's fine. It's society. We are not necessarily trying to change, everything how do it, but change is inevitable. And we're growing into generations. So in a sense, the conversation I had with that gentleman, and I don't really need this job. And it's true, because most people, like at this particular time, they concentrate on that mental health. And it's something that is worldwide right now. Mental health matters. So if you are in a very toxic job, and but
how are we doing, Tabila, as a country in terms of addressing issues of mental health as it relates to men?
I think, honestly speaking, we're not doing enough. That much I can say. We're not doing enough because there's been a shift of, of things in terms of, okay, mental health wise, why are we not advocating for both sides? Yes, we can. For women, I feel like women, we are emotional beings, yes, and then we can take care of our mental issues in a sense. Like, I feel like we are more I'd say we are more equipped in that particular thing.
Is it because we were expressive of our emotions?
Very much, exactly. Thank you so much. It's because we are able to talk about it. We are able to have girls talking. I can sit down and talk to you. For him, it will take a miracle for him to do that. That's why I always say, find someone. And you just also be very careful of how you express these things, because if you need professional help, get it. If you feel like it's something you can discuss with a friend, that's perfectly fine. But we need to do more as a society, as a country, as the world, to advocate for men's mental health.
So MasterCard Foundation, we launched what we call Young Africa Works. Most of you would know that Africa, in a few years' time, will have what we call the youngest population globally. And in that regard, the foundation came up with a strategy, or what we call our North Star. So what we want to do as a foundation is that by 2030, we want to enable 30 million young women and men to access dignified and fulfilling work. As a foundation, we believe in African institutions. That's why we made a choice. The choice of having University of Botswana and other African partners is very, very deliberate. We believe that African institutions are the ones that are going to drive innovation, transformation, and sustain our goal of pushing young Africans to dignified and fulfilling work.
The initiation made possible through the generous support of the MasterCard Foundation truly represent a collaborative effort between the University of Botswana and several esteemed partners across the continent, including Africa, Nazarene University, the University of Ghana, Data Innovators, TEME Consultants, and the African Evaluation Association.
We need dimensions of different types of research in Africa, and therefore please start putting together that big pot where you're going to draw to finance these people to actually expand. For instance, if you do these protocols, maybe departments have to grow. Maybe you need more heads of departments. Maybe you need other types of people. So please, in your scheme of things, I can see no less than 20 years of financing of this type of work.
In terms of operationalizing all these tools, we have what we call thematic working groups. Thematic working groups are a form of a structure or a tool where you have government, civil society, and the private sector coming together to drive national development. When you talk of national development plans, currently we are developing NDP, National Development Plan 12. In theory, all those players are supposed to be around the table, planning together. But the same also has to apply when it comes to implementation. We have to implement together at national, because there are national documents. And the same also goes when it comes to evaluation, to make sure that what we intended to implement indeed is actually happening.
That the evaluation becomes relevant for the different sectors, such that indigenous knowledge systems in these various sectors can inform the methodologies and the frameworks and the ethics that you use when you do evaluation. We believe that when you do evaluation in the health sector, we believe that there are some ethical principles that come from the culture that should inform the health sector, that should inform how we do evaluation in the health sector.
village is home to people of Bahurutsi descent. The village has a rich history dating back to the era of tribal skirmishes in southern Africa. Manyana was originally home to the BOTSWANA people who settled at Dimawe, which was established by Kgosi Sitshele I, who ruled between 1812 and 1892.
Motsona o thega o tswa ka go Transvaal kgaolo e ne bidiwa Borutwe o disitswe ke dintwa tsa maburu ne le kgosi Mangope ka nako eo ana le bana ba gagwe ba tla go goroga ka kwano go le go bidiwa Dimawe ba fitlhela re fo Bakwena Sitshele ba gorogela mo go yene ile ba ntse ba le mo go ene jalo mo Dimawe maburu ba tla ba ba latetse kana ba ba ntshitse batho ba bone mmile ga ba tsena ba fitlhela Sitshele ba ntse ba ipaakantse e le gore matlhai a teng a ba laletseng maburu a ba ka nna ba tla ba ba latetse ba le mo godimo ga majwe ba iphitlhile mme ba ipapanne ka ba maruri maburu a ile ga ba tsena ba fitlhela Sitshele ba mmotsa gore re tla jaana rra re batla monna o go teng Mangope ba tlhasela maburu a ba bangwe ba ba bola ba bangwe ba sia ba boela go morago.
The Boers had suffered a humiliating defeat by Sitshele's regiments at the Battle of Dimawe. During this time of turmoil, Masitshele was expectant and was hidden in a cave at the foot of this hill. She was protected by the regiments away from Dimawe Hill, which by then was the battlefield between the BOTSWANA and the Boers of Transvaal. The hill became known as Masitshele.
Go na le kgopujana e phatlhajana mosadi wa a bewa ho Masitshele mmile ba ntse ba le ko Dimawe ko kgosi ya bone Mangope a tla tlhokafala mme Mangope a fitlhelwa ho e la sena go fitlhelwa teng ba fuduga ba tumela molapo wa Kolobeng ba tla go aga motse go bonang o le teng gompieko.
The BOTSWANA left Dimawe and settled in Kolobeng, but would later build a powerful fortress at Ditejwane Hills, while the Bahurutsi remained at Manyana.
Ditso tsa rona tse re di tsholeditseng thata mono go Manyana tse e leng gore ke tsone tse re ipelang ka tsone.
The moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. It's the DBS Roadshow Season 2 finale, and the top 5 artists need your vote to stand a chance to win an opportunity to work closely with me, DJ Fresh, while signed under my record label, Big Dog Productions, for a year. They'll also win airtime on RB2 and BTV, valued at 100,000 pula. Styling by Lamar Lueto Clothing, a music video by Cosign 267, and a VW Polo Vivo 1.4-liter car. Poso ke hore, koloi, it's our man. Will it be Abigail Issa, the aspiring beam of light? To vote for Abigail Issa, SMS DBS01 to 17103. Or will it be Fino D, your black color Yamanyora and the Sax Prince? To vote for Fino D, SMS DBS02 to 17103. Or will it be Rita Christopher, the Afro-Goth ancestral goddess? To vote for Rita Christopher, SMS DBS03 to 17103. Or will it be DJ Sean Lee, aka the big man himself, Big Lee? To vote for DJ Sean Lee, SMS DBS04 to 17103. Or will it be Wada, the soul stress? To vote for Wada, SMS DBS05 to 17103. Listen to the songs, check out the music videos at the DBS Facebook page, Department of Broadcasting Services, #Remotsileng.
Residents of Silokolela and other stakeholders turned up in large numbers for a cancer awareness walk, which was initiated by cancer activist Mr. Dikgang, who passed on early this year after battling with gastric cancer. When officiating at the event, Member of Parliament for Kanye South, Dr. Dikgang applauded participants for their commitment to raising awareness about cancer. The General Manager of Water Utilities Corporation in Tabong, Mr. Benjamin Baitsingeti, says employers should prioritize the health and safety of employees and customers visiting their premises. Mr. Baitsingeti said this during the corporation's Health and Safety Day in Tabong. The United Nations Global Compact, in collaboration with Green Loop Consultancy, hosted its first open house session with different media houses to discuss the importance of reporting on the environment, society and governance. The Managing Director of Green Loop, Ms. Lindiwe Mudise, says that these discussions are important as they can help inform decisions that can enhance sustainable development. Green Loop Consultants with the other stakeholders will host the BOTSWANA Sustainability Week Summit beginning of July this year. Meanwhile, renewed hope of families of the 958 farmers in the Bubirwa area who benefited from the restocking exercise has been highlighted as a major achievement. This was explained by the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Fidelis Molawe, at the ongoing cattle distribution exercise in Mapole as the program draws to a close. 375 female beneficiaries received livestock through the relief program, fulfilling government's commitment to promoting sustainable women empowerment. Member of Parliament for Okavango constituency, Mr. Kenny Kapinga, has expressed his desire for improved academic performance in the schools within the Okavango district. He made these remarks during his tour of schools that achieved good results in the 2023 primary school leaving examinations. Mr. Kapinga, who also donated stationery to the students, stressed that good academic performance is key to a better future for students and encouraged them to